For most people, your 20s are the first real taste of adulthood. Whether you decided to go straight from high school and start a business, or you're in the professional world, these are the roles and experiences that will shape your view of that world. If you decide to do it yourself, or you find yourself already at the helm of an existing company or startup, these are the 10 things CEOs need to understand in their 20s and 30s. Education alone cannot win the game. Traditional education is important. The element of education cannot be categorized only as books and theory. You need to be street smart, self-taught, and you need to put yourself in uncomfortable positions, not only to learn how those situations can be, but to learn how you will react to them, your fight or flight mechanism, and your ability to persevere. Even with all these educational steps above mastered, none of it moves the needle without your ability to take action. Your initial steps that take tangible movement towards your original goal, regardless of the risk. Life is played outside, interacting with people. Education is a strong foundation, but it takes intentional action every day to build a fortified house or life. The idea of other countries and experiences excite them. Especially with the reach of the internet, the wide world and its wonders are waiting to be experienced by young CEOs and business owners in training. Not for the purpose of vacation or to post it on social media, but the thought of seeing new things, learning new languages, experiencing new cultures often excite them. They want the opportunity to experience things in a different stage of their life and network with interesting people along the way. This becomes exponentially more difficult when you have a family and kids to take with you. There will be some peers that never leave their city, let alone their country. Hell, I know successful friends that never had a passport, and it's fine. They may grow to be successful, but your dreams are bigger. So young nomad, take the opportunity to do this while your costs and obligations are low. That spark inside you may very well grow into a wildfire, and on your travels, expose yourself to new things. Clap for those ahead of you, knowing your time will come. Mediocrity is something we all feel. That buzzing feeling in your head that begs the question, did I make the right decision? Or you're asking yourself, why haven't I made it yet, even though I put in just as much as work as the next guy? The measuring stick is very important. As humans, we continually compare our success with other people and wonder when it's going to be our time. Take time to clap for the success of the person that you're comparing yourself to, and then stop. Humans have a habit of wanting what they don't have and forgetting what they actually do. Your only measuring stick should be the distance between where you started, where you are now, and where you're trying to be. Remember to look around. There are times when you look around at things and be like, hey, 5 years ago, I didn't have this. So you have to be grateful for those times. That extra employee, that backup printer, even that forklift. It seems small now, but remember, in your eyes, someone else were clapping for you. So just take your time, look at where you want to go, applaud the people around you, and keep putting in the work to get to where you need to be. Avoid people with a victim mindset and no accountability. I know you heard this one before. It's the government's fault. It was my mom's fault. It was my supervisor. She never liked me. And the famous one, that's too expensive. I could never afford that. These are indicators of people that have never taken responsibility for their actions. They thrive in a system of mediocrity and can point out every inconvenient thing to block their dreams. Think about it. You have a friend right now that can tell you at least 500 ways that something will never go right, but never the one way it could. They're consumed with fear masked as confidence. Some even self-sabotage themselves by operating in a manner where someone has to stop them. So then they can point and blame and say, hey, see, they stopped me. Must have been them. These people drain the lifeblood from your dreams. Don't associate with them. And if you're anything like me and some of them are in your family and it's hard to get away from, remove yourself from certain conversations and gatherings to limit exposure. Every minute thinking on defense is 2 minutes not spent on a strong offense. Now, I'm not saying to have bad risk management, but when you truly believe in your dream, you have to remove yourself from those victim mentality and surround yourself in a positive framework. People that can encourage you, but people that can still hold you accountable for your mistakes. These are called your friends. They save, for a purpose. You're finally having some disposable income and it feels great. Now it's time to figure out what to do with this new money that you got. As all of us would have heard, when money sits in a bank, only the bank wins. The question is now, there are many professionals and business owners alike that I know that have substantial profits at the end of the month, yet they're still living paycheck to paycheck. Why? Have you ever heard the phrase, the devil likes idle hands? I use this because they waste their disposable income on dates, frivolous experiences, different things that they don't need at the time because they have no larger plan. I myself went through this when I was younger. You can buy drinks at the bar. You can get that extra salmon. You can eat that steak for lunch and dinner. It doesn't matter because it's nothing to you because you have nothing to do with the money. Until you want to purchase a house or reinvest in some substantial part of your business, coming to realize that you're hundreds of thousands of dollars short. I mention this to say, when you're in your younger years, you need to visualize what you want your life to look like in about 20, 30 years. I know it's hard, but just trying to think about it from now so that you can reserve the right to kind of spend your money better. All right, you should add up all these costs, add about 10% for inflation, and see where you land. Set aside some of your earnings with intention of making it grow for you. I encourage you to still live a full life, right? Still have experiences, still go out with your friends, still buy that salmon or steak if you want. But put something on the side for a rainy, inevitable day. Don't let your emotions dictate your actions. Emotions are a great source of energy that drives us to be better and do more. Just like any substance, when not used correctly, can result in disaster. If you ever decided to fire that loyal employee because they oppose your views, when that's what you hired them for in the first place, that's emotions. Or you allowed a toxic friend to compromise your relationship with your family because of some long-standing loyalty you had to them. Emotions. Emotions cannot be avoided, but the way you react to emotions can put you in a certain category. There may not always be a situation where you can walk those words back in regret because you said them in the moment because your ego was bruised. Try rather to practice controlling your emotions in different situations around different people. Don't avoid these situations because they make you mad. Lean into it in small bites so your brain, facial expression, and body language can kind of get the practice. Let yourself know you're exposing yourself to this situation. Yes, you don't want to be there. Speak to yourself. Let yourself know that you're exposing yourself. You're willfully putting yourself in the line of fire and documenting how you react. What is your tolerance? Yes, it may hurt. Yes, some of these people may sound ignorant. Yes, that religion might not align with yours. You have to realize as a business professional, you will be thrown into rooms with multiple personalities and opposing views. And trust me, you don't want the first time to be at a closing of a lucrative business deal. I've had to play mediator between two parties at the apex of a signing. And it always reminds me of a saying I heard. Do you want to be right or do you want to be rich? But you can't have both. They plan, set goals, fail, and plan again. I think people take this planning stage for granted. It seems to be like just a buzzword interchangeable with dreaming or foreseeing. The famous quote, "A problem well stated is a problem half solved," by Charles Kettering. If you're in a privileged position, as I see it, to lead other people in your organization and to be responsible for their livelihood, you need to get extremely prolific at the planning element of business. I see too many people spend 20% on planning and 80% of doing, and end up with 100% of the wrong thing because their plan was terrible. Yes, my entire channel is based around taking action. But we need to understand that the planning part is part of taking action. It's steps. I know sitting around tricks your brain into telling yourself that you're lazy. But think about it. Imagine that you wanted to be a bodybuilder and you joined a gym and then you just started to lift anything, anywhere. Soon you're hurt and now your bodybuilding dreams are over because you didn't take the time to plan a regimen. Or say you're in Africa, you wanted to get to China and you decided to go in a canoe because that was your limited knowledge of boats or ships. The earlier you start to make plans in your life, the earlier you realize that your plans are terrible and you lack a lot of critical thinking or deep thinking into those plans. Everything takes time to master, and the planning aspect is something you should try to master at a very young age. Arrogance ruins relationships. Flexing and humble bragging at 20s just makes you look dumb. The issue is you don't know that you look dumb until you're 30 looking back at a version of your 20-year-old self doing the same brag. I know you think what you've accomplished at 20 to 25 is spectacular, but in reality, The majority of people is mediocre and no one cares. You can barely rent a car. Go sit in the corner. Superficial thing that your friends and mom think is special is probably not. I'm happy you have people around you that encourages you into success, but don't use that to flex on people that you think are doing worse than you at the time. It often alienates the very friend group that you need to propel yourself to success later in life. Now, I'm not saying to dim your light for others, but be classy about it. They don't think the world revolves around them. Just like arrogance, being selfish and self-centered stunts your growth. People don't want to be around you. They laugh at you behind your back and plot your demise. The good thing is, this is easy to fix. Just have real conversations with your staff and the people around you. Actually listen to respond. Don't be one of those people that just listen until the person stops so that you can say something about something else or just make it about yourself. Business tip, avoid using but after response. It often invalidates what people are trying to say and they don't feel good about it. Try using something like also or in addition, or if you disagree, you can say, I totally understand your point, but blah, 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 blah. They don't give up when things get hard. Life comes at you hard and fast, but perseverance is what keeps you in business. The game is not over until there's no more time on the clock. Set up your life and business in a way that you have more than one inflection point. You need more strength to lean on in hard times. Emotionally, you might be going through a hard breakup or divorce. You need a strong right-hand man or woman that can help you run the business in your absence. Or try to get a strong relationship with a financial institution so it can be seamless to get loans or capital in case of tight times. Either way, you need to anticipate that something will inevitably go wrong. And when it does, you need to have faith in your dreams and discipline to weather that storm. So in conclusion, in your 20s and 30s, there are certain things that people do to try to separate themselves from others. This list might be some of the top things, but there are many other things you can do according to the country you're in, the person you are, or even the business you're in. But one of the most important things is for you to decide what it is. If it's gonna be separating yourself from people, it's fine. If it's gonna be learning more, it's fine. If it means you have to build up your knowledge base in something else, it's fine. But regardless of what it is, decide what you want your life to look like 10, 20, 30 years from now. Reverse engineer. Get your plan, and then go take action.